Hey there, guys. How you doing this afternoon? It's about, it's about 4:30, so I've only got a few minutes to get this video done. For whatever reason, my children's soccer decided that this weekend would be the weekend, Father's Day weekend, that they would have tryouts for next season. So I have literally been on the soccer field all day for my son and for my daughter separately. And then again tomorrow. And then we have birthdays and Father's Days and graduation parties, and oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to try and get this done today for you guys, and let's talk about purification today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Christina Campbell. I am a wife and mother of two beautiful children, and I am a physician. I've been practicing for about 20 years, and I'm board certified in emergency medicine. But my passion is health and wellness and preventative care, if at all possible. Food is medicine. I truly believe that. And if we can get our nutrients and the things we need and avoid the chemical toxins that are out there, then we can be healthier. So that is my passion. So I'm here to share that with you. So today we're going to talk about purification and its use in animals. And I hope you guys will pardon my emojis, but I'm struggling to find new emojis to have fun with this with these titles, and purification does get rid of poopy smells, so I thought that was kind of fun. So I had a little more fun. Maybe I've been out in the sun too much. I don't know. Maybe it's affecting my brain. Anyway, so let's talk about purification. It is one of the blends that's in the premium starter kit, and it has citronella, lemongrass, lavandin, rosemary, melaleuca alternifolia, otherwise known as tea tree oil, and myrtle. So those are all the single essential oils that are blended together to make this beautiful smelling oil. And it is, for those of you who've never used it before, I'm going to tell you a little story. I really wish that I had this essential oil when I was in medical school. Now, I was a Florida girl. I grew up in Florida, and I moved to Maine for medical school. And I lived in this really cool old house that it had been like an old, it was a pretty large house, like a mansion style house, but it had been divided into condos. So I lived in this series of condos, and they had a common area, but you had to leave your apartment through the front door and walk all the way around to the back to do your laundry. That's where the laundry area and the storage area was for as a common area. And so, you can imagine in Maine, it gets pretty cold and there's a ton of snow. So you really have to be dedicated to doing laundry to actually do it. And there was a spring-ish day. I just remember that it was really wet out, but there wasn't snow on the ground, and it was cold. And I was carrying laundry to the back of this house. And as I rounded the corner to go down, it was kind of downhill. As I rounded the corner, up against the house was an entire litter of skunks, a whole litter with the mama skunk all just hanging out under the awning by the house. And I saw them, and then they saw me, and then it was almost like it happened in slow motion. And then I dropped my laundry basket, which, by the way, had all of my jeans in it, which was horrible, because in Maine, if you're not wearing jeans, you're dying, right? You need jeans, and you need a million layers under them and over them. So I dropped my basket, I turned and ran as fast as I could, but they got me. So I got skunked, and I had no idea what to do about it, and I ran straight into my apartment and called my friend who was from New England areas, from down east, and I was like, what do I do? And he goes, what are you doing in the apartment? Like, get out right now. And you need, like, I don't know, vinegar and tomato juice and all these. So he had me, I don't know, he's probably just playing with me. I don't know. But he had this little Florida girl who got skunked in Maine, like washing herself and her hair with all these crazy products out of her kitchen. That, by the way, did not work. They did not work, and I smelled awful, and it was all over my jacket and the only really good, and all my jeans. So I wore sweatpants for a couple of days to school, and I stunk, and I dragged it into the apartment. So the neighboring apartment, those kids were also in school with me, and they were in class with me, so they got skunked as well, sort of as a byproduct of my idiocy in actually carrying it straight into my house. So the classroom smelled, the whole thing. So I really wish that I had had purification back then, because I can tell you I would not have smelled. I would have put it in my shampoo. I would have washed myself with it. I would have used it in a body wash or along with my soap, and I would not have smelled like I did for a couple weeks. And I'd have brought it to the classroom, and I'd have helped my friend out next door, and it would have been awesome. Unfortunately, I didn't know about Young Living back then. I really wish I had, but I didn't. But it could have totally saved me from all that trauma. So anyway, so the main thing that I love to use purification for, obviously, is for de-smelling things. It is wonderful for eliminating bad smells. So, and when you're talking about with animals, you're using it with animals. Getting skunked is actually, like, that's legitimately, that happens. And I'm sure you guys know that. So this is wonderful. You can add it to the Animal Sense shampoo or whatever other doggy shampoo or cat shampoo, whatever you're using for shampoo. I personally do like the Animal Sense shampoo if I'm going to use that on my animals. I also like the Copaiba shampoo. I use that personally for my hair, and I love it, and it's very mild. My cat doesn't mind it if I have to use it for some odd reason. She's a very good groomer, so it's not really a big thing, but every once in a while I've had to use it to help her out. So, but I could easily add the purification to that and then use that for the de-skunking, de-smelling, de-whatever-ing. So that's a really great thing to know. It also, incidentally, boosts the immune system. So it actually helps to improve or boost the immune system of your animal. So that's kind of a nice thing to know. It can also be, if you don't have the Animal Scent shampoo or you don't have a non-toxic shampoo, you can put it in the Thieves Household Cleaner as well and use that to clean or de-skunk your animal, or de-stink your animal. Okay, so that will help as well. It is not typically an oil that's taken in orally. Now that doesn't, with cats, if you're using it on a cat, we'll talk about the specifics in a minute, but they will only really get it if they are grooming. And you're going to use a diluted sample. So it's not going to be a big deal. If they groom it off, that's perfectly fine. So don't even worry about it. But as a typical rule, you're not going to add it to their food. It's not something that you're going to put in their food or their water source, okay? For birds and exotics, you can add it to the raindrop, to the species-specific raindrop. You can add it to the water mister, and typically you'd start at 4 drops per 4 ounces of distilled water, so a little more dilute than some of the others. And this says you can use it in their soaking water for the exotics as well. So 1 drop per liter is something that you can do, but not something necessarily that you'd want them taking orally, okay? Topically, you can use it topically, either neat or diluted. So actually you can use it neat. Okay, my bad. So you can use it neat. With cats, I find though that you're going to need to dilute it quite a bit because it's a powerful smell, and you're not going to get them to allow you to put it on them unless you've diluted it. At least that's been my experience. Now maybe your cat loves it. If so, please put that in the comment section or show me that. I would love a video of that. But if you guys have animals that differ from what I've said, I would love to see or hear about that in the comment section. So please feel free to be interactive. I'd love it, okay? So with cats, you can add it to the raindrop as well. You can use the water diffusion techniques, including caging and tenting. So this is something that you can use in a more intense way if it's necessary, if it's needed. You can put it on as in petting or topical fashion. And again, with cats, I would dilute it. I would start with a diluted, fairly well diluted sample, maybe 10 drops of V6 to 1 drop of the purification. And then of course, if they tolerate that well, then, you know, maybe you can go with a lower dilution ratio or even go neat. But that will depend, of course, on how your cat kind of responds. And then you can use it. This is a good one to put in the Litoroma. If your cat tolerates the smell of it and or likes the smell of it, totally perfect for Litoroma, because you know your litter will never smell. It just won't. It'll smell like purification. It'll be great. This is one that gives quite a lot of support too for let me see, how do I word this correctly? So you can use this for topical use and diffusion to discourage topical parasites. Let's put it that way. To discourage them from being present. Let's say that. And with cats specifically, cats have a tendency to be prone to, especially, well, outdoor cats. My cats don't go outside much, so that's not really been an issue. But for outdoor cats, ear mites are a thing. And so this is something that will support your cat in that experience and can discourage ear mites from sticking around. So I'm just going to throw that out there. If you're going to do that, you do not want to drop ever. You don't ever want to drop a drop of essential oil, especially not neat, into the ear or the eye of any animal, human or otherwise. So if you are going to place it inside the ear canal in any way, you're going to put it on a cotton swab, and swab it into the into the ear. And same thing with humans. If you're going to put it inside the ear, what I typically will do, there's actually a whole technique if you take the care courses that you can learn, but you can put it on the tip of your finger, insert it into the ear canal, and then rotate it as such. So that's a way to apply it. And that way it's not getting deep into the ear canal and there's no risk to the eardrum itself. And that's really the worry, because essential oils can be very powerful and you don't really want them directly up against the eardrum. Okay. So that's that. If for some reason that ever were to happen, then you would just flush the eye or the ear with an oil, a carrier oil. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Olive oil, almond oil, coconut oil, any kind of oil, whatever you've got on hand in the moment, just toss it in there. I will tell you that olive oil is a little burny in the eye. It works great, and if in a pinch, and I've done it before because I keep olive oil in my bathroom sink area because I use it as a carrier with some of the oils I like to use on my face in the evening. So I keep it there. And my son accidentally got peppermint in his eye one night when he came in to use some peppermint. And so we just dumped olive oil directly into his eye, just put him over the bathtub and dumped it in there, and it worked great. But it stings. The olive oil itself is a little stingy. But it's not like a huge big deal. So anyway, I prefer almond oil if I can get to it, or some of the milder oils. But anyway, so with cats, the oral use is limited, as we talked about, to grooming. So consumption by grooming only. And then when you're talking about dogs and larger animals, so dogs and horses and bigger animals, you can add it to the raindrop. You can add it both to water and air diffusers. So you can use a little bit more potent mix. Can be put on neat by a petting or topical, or you can use a diluted sample depending on how your animal reacts. And always, as I always say, start low and go slow and see how your animal tolerates it. And again, even with dogs and larger animals, horses, you're not going to give this. This isn't something that you're going to be giving orally per se. Okay. Now, as I promised, someone asked me, now I can't remember who asked me, but someone asked me, and I promised I would talk about the new insect repellent that just came out at Young Living Convention. So the ingredients list on that product is sesame seed oil. It's about 89% sesame seed oil. So that's the carrier oil. It has 6.5% citronella. It has 1.15% lemongrass oil. It has 1% rosemary oil, 0.5% geranium oil, 0.35% spearmint oil, 0.25% thyme oil, and 0.25% clove oil. And then it also has 1% vitamin E oil in it. So it is a completely non-toxic, DEET-free, petrochemical-free, sulfate, phthalate, everything bad ate free, okay? It's free. Free of dyes, free of colorants, free of everything horrible and bad for your animal, okay? So it does not come in the starter kit. It's a brand new product. It would be something that you would want to order actually as soon as possible. Open ordering for those who did not go to convention. It starts on Monday. However, I do have a link where you can order, I believe, until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, even if you're not at conventions. So there's a short period of time, and I will share that on this page under this video when I'm done. So if you guys want to order that product, you can do that. All right. So it comes out as a liquid. It's not in a sprayer. because it is a lot of sesame seed oil base. It has like a little opening at the top, and you would just put some of it into your hand. It takes, I saw a demonstration, one of the gentlemen from Products did a demonstration on it, and 2 drops of this insect repellent essentially covered his entire arm for insect repellent coverage. So it is quite concentrated in that it's not going to take a lot of it. So you want to put it into your hand, rub your hands together, and then pet your animal with it if you're using it for your animal, and that's how you would use it for coverage. Same thing for you if you're using it on you. So just going to throw that out there. So that's really good information to have. Trying to think if there's anything else as far as this new product goes that you guys might want to know. The only limiting thing would be the clove oil, and it's in such a small percentage that really only with the most exotic, most sensitive of creatures would you even consider being hesitant. And at that, you could always add more carrier oil to it. You could put a carrier with it to dilute it even more if you were nervous and start out that way. But did you guys know, I want to tell you this story. So did you guys know, this is actually this has been tested. This is university tested stuff, and it's been approved to be called insect repellent, and the FDA has approved that. But because they tested it, did you know how people test it, how they get it tested? They actually have people who volunteer for this. And I mean, I guess in my college days when I had zero money and I was eating ramen noodles, maybe I might have volunteered, I don't know. But they would come in with both their arms, right? And they volunteer. I assume they get paid. They must get paid. And then they put on one arm, they put the product, on the other arm, nothing. And then they stick both arms into a vat of mosquitoes and biting bugs to see if it works or not. Isn't that crazy? So a lot of people sacrifice their arms so that we could know that this product works, and it works well. So just thought I'd give you that tidbit. All right, I have to fly. I have to go back to soccer field, and so I'm gonna go. But that answers the question about the insect repellent that has just been released by Young Living at Grand Convention. Yes, you can use it with your animals. I don't see anything limiting in the ingredients list, and I did go through it today as I was sitting by the field. And I really didn't find anything that would make me hesitate other than the clove oil. And again, it's such a low percentage. But if you were nervous, if you were hesitant or nervous at all, just use, half and half. Use carrier oil and the insect repellent, and then see what happens, right? And see how it does as far as prevention too. So, any other questions or comments? Please do that. Or questions or concerns or anything like that, please put it in the comments section underneath, and I will look forward to talking to you guys about RC and Stress Away. Those will be the next 2 oils that we cover from the kit. And then if you're looking for something to discourage insects, to make it a pleasant experience when your animals are outside, that is actually in the starter kit. In the past, I have friends that have used a combination of the peppermint and purification together, along with maybe one other oil, sometimes copaiba, sometimes lemon. So other people have made their own concoctions from the kit itself. So those are oils that are actually in the premium starter kit that you could use to start with. But I think you're not going to be able to beat this university tested insect repellent. So this might be something I would add on to my order. When I ordered my starter kit, I might add this on from the beginning. All right, guys, have a great day. Wish my kids luck in soccer, that they make the A team. All right, we'll talk to you later. And happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there. All right, bye guys.